Join me as you and you take a journey to become better writers together and geek out.
Hey.
Hello, man. Well, hello there, Apple Buddies. This is Written Writ Ralph, and of course, Roaming Tony right there. And we are about to go Eternal, because this weekend we will be at EternalCon, and we're about to bring in a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of fun. This place is going to be crowded. I think this is the most people we've ever had, actually. All right, let's see. Who do we gotten back here? Of course, we got our pal Kate Fox from the Kate Fox Show.
Hey there.
And of course, Francis Bonnet from Suburban FairyTales.
How's it going?
Hey, friends.
And Buddy Scalera from the School of Comic Books, man, or Comic Book School. Which way is it?
Comic Book School.
I think I like the School of Comic Books.
We'll change that for you. We'll make a quick change to the URL.
Of course, you can't have the guys without Kris Burgos here. Of course, you know, I love your teddy bear guy because I got my teddy bear guy. And you, of course, you have the guys from It's Getting Dicey, Herman.
How's it going, guys?
And of course, Dennis Knight.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Kevin Pay, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I usually say names wrong.
I like to tell people to pronounce my last name. It's literally pay me money.
I thought so.
That's the Americanized way
That's what it
of
looks
saying
like.
my last
Hey.
name. Literally, pay me money. There you go. That's my last name.
There we go.
And then
That's
they're
exactly
like,
what it looked like.
how did you come up? And I'm like, listen, I've been dealing with this for 29 years.
That's
to learn things. So, yeah.
I like that. I like the name. You know, make sure you get paid. All right,
I
folks,
mean, you know.
let's start this off one by one. Let everybody know who you are, what you do, all the good things. Give them your spiel. Kate Fox, you can start. Give me a second while you do that. Go.
I knew you were going to do that. I host the Kate Fox Show. I've been doing it since 2017. We do cons, red carpet events, film festivals. We've been to EternalCon, numerous times, and we're looking forward to it.
EternalCon is a blast, of course. I gotta admit, we always have a lot of fun there. That's when we all three of us get to meet up. Came from the radio, the Kate Fox Show, and Bitten Apple TV.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be another panel?
Izzy was working on giving us another panel, but he hasn't said anything to me. So I guess we'll find out. It'll probably be a surprise at the last minute. All right, Kris, go for it.
Oh, God, you're going to me. Okay. Hi, I'm Kris. No, I'm a writer. I write multiple comics, Wizards, Teddies. Got a new one dropping with this guy here, Buddy, coming out soon, called Wardens of the Veil. My own label publishes Tales Beyond. If you want to check me out, talesbeyond.com. But yeah, that's me in a bucket, in a nutshell.
There you go. That's great. Of course, I like I said, I like your teddy bear comic over here.
You know what? You wait. I'll show you something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Buddy's next.
Yeah. Go ahead, Buddy.
Baby.
He says I'm next, and then he leaves. He was like, all right, Buddy's next.
Look after me, you know.
Yes. Hey, my name is Buddy Scalera. I am also a comic book writer. I'm a publisher. Came up through Wizard Magazine. Write for Marvel Comics. Probably best known for my work on Deadpool. Been running the comic book school now for some 20 odd years, very odd years, I should say, where we do panels and all kinds of fun things. Recently self-published my own comic series through Kickstarter, through the comic book school label. We're expanding that label. Maker of stickers, thanks to Mike Ponce. And that's it. Yeah, I'll be seeing everybody at the EternalCon, and if anybody wants to sneak a peek, our private Facebook page. I just posted what I think is the tentative schedule, so it's there. It's not available to the public. You have to already be a member. So there you go.
There you go. Now, Mr. Francis Bonnet, go ahead.
I'm Francis. I work on comic strip Suburban FairyTales. I'm the writer, the artist. It's been going on almost like 17 years now. I've been doing the comic. So you can check it out at suburbanfairytales.com. I also write for Archie Comics. And I write gag comics for a couple other comic strips. Frank and Ernest is one I just picked up recently. So that's me in a nutshell.
A lot of great people. Go ahead, Mr. It's Getting Dicey.
Well, my name is Herman. I'm from It's Getting Dicey, where we sell plenty of Dungeons and Dragons dice and accessories, where we're always in that 20. But we're going to be at EternalCon as well. Really looking forward to it.
There you go. That is Knight.
Hi, my name is Dennis. I'm a comic book writer. Some days I'm a good comic book writer, depending on what day it is. Do a lot of work with Comic Book School, run productions, Strange World Comics. I have a couple of things coming very soon. Really excited about EternalCon because it's like the first con of the season for me. So I'm happy to see everybody. Hopefully the weather is kind and everybody can make it there and they can have a good time.
There you go. Kevin Pay.
Yeah, so I am a part of Comic Book School, run by Buddy. I also wrote Riley's Journey, which I will be selling at EternalCon for the first time. So this is my first kind of being on this side.
Welcome to the
Of
circus.
the con. So I've helped plan a couple panels this weekend.
A couple? He
I
planned
figured it was
everything.
humble.
Not like
Don't be
all
so
of us.
modest.
Not a couple.
We wouldn't have
We're-
panels if Kevin wasn't on the job.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm excited and nervous about this weekend.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, this is my first time on this
Oh,
side.
This
So-
is a great panel to start. Like I know, like last time we went in, like all the indie vendors, you're like the first people that you see when you walk right in. So that's the best part. So it's a good place to start.
I hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm nervous too because I've never done something like this. So, and I thank Buddy for giving me the opportunity to plan this side of things. So
Thanks,
I think what's great about the people that we work with is I think, and it's okay if I just grab the microphone, right? Just
go ahead.
I think that you're seeing people on this, all these great faces, and we'll get to Herman, I'm sure, in a minute. But the thing is everybody here is a doer, right? Like nobody's waiting for permission. They're just like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. From the newest, like Kevin, to Kate, you've been doing this since what, the 1940s? You said.
It feels like
100 years now you've been doing this.
Mm-hmm. It does feel like it.
It does feel like it. I'm sorry, Herman. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm not the host of this show.
And introducing our friend Kelly Gordon from Night and Day Anime.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Good night. Good night.
Kelly, go for it. Just take the mic and run.
All right. Yeah, my name is, my artist name is Mikhail Supreme from Night and Day Anime Studios. I am a man of many hats. I am a comic book indie publisher. I do arts and crafts. I do a lot of illustrations. I am a freelancer, graphic artist, website designer, art director at East Meadow Public Library. And I teach from kids to teens how to do illustrations and drawings. So I pretty much do it all. I'm juggling a lot. So
Does that all fit on a business card?
No, not at all. I have to get an extended push one up. One of those.
I gotta admit, man, Kelly, I don't know how you do all that stuff.
It's true.
He doesn't sleep.
And,
Exactly.
no, not at all. I'm very tired. So I'm gonna cut this short. So good night, everyone. Thank you very much.
But it's funny because I'm looking at all of you. I feel like everybody here are hustlers. we all tend to hustle a lot because I've talked to most of you. I've had most of you on the show, and you guys work your butts off getting what you want done. Between Kelly and Francis and Buddy, dude. I see you guys at so many conventions, especially all of you. Actually, I see you all in so many conventions that it feels like I know you for much longer than I do.
Man, let me tell you about the paralegal that I am now. The web designer that I've become.
Exactly.
Speaking of that alone, I haven't slept in like 2-3 weeks. I've redesigned my website. I've finished off 3 different comics that I'm going to be releasing sometime soon. And it's
Wow.
yeah. I look at the big name guys, and I'm like, how do you write like 6-7 titles at a time? You guys are nuts.
Well, I hope my AC is not interfering. I have the AC blasting up, and it's pretty hot tonight, so I hope you can't hear that. Awesome. Good. I'm not taking it off, so that's.
I don't blame you, man. I got my fan on. I keep thinking you guys are hearing it, but. So, Buddy, let me start with you. Because we're all comic book people here, in one way or another. You do the school of comic books, the comic book school. We're trying to create the next generation of comic book creators, or we're trying to help people who are already there trying to do their thing. What's your big goal here with the school? Because I've seen you do a lot of things.
I think comic book school is really based in my own curiosity of wanting to be a better comic creator. So I used my connections to start running panels and asking questions about things I wanted to know about as a creator. And it turned out a lot of other people were interested in the same types of things. So I like to talk about the craft and business of making comics. There's a lot of very smart crafts people. If you watch my show, which I'm sure you do, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, go live, YouTube. You can find us at Comic Book School. There you go. Thank you. And I think the key thing is when we get together, I try to find out from other creators, how did they break in? How did they get better? How do they continue to improve? So it's not just the craft, it's how you conduct yourself as a professional in this business. And that's a lot of what I like to do in comic book school. It's just, it's a personal passion. People helped me when I was coming up. And I feel like it's the right thing to do, is to help everyone else, not even the next generation. I mean, I think there's some working comic pros who watch the show, subscribe to the newsletter, participate in things, and they learn a lot. So I think we're all constantly learning, and that's the spirit of comic book school. It's grown into a community. We've published, won some awards. Kris won a writing award. We've really grown as a group.
And you have, and like I said, I run into you guys all the time, and I like what you do. I like because I feel like as inviting as comic books are now compared to how they used to be, it's still really difficult to get into, to get to where you want to get to.
It is, and yet it's easier than ever. That when I was first breaking in, there was the self-publishing pathway was very difficult. It was very expensive.
Very hard.
It's a big commitment. And now it's easier than ever. And yet still, I think the thing that we try to encourage people to do, and I think you saw it with Kevin, definitely saw it with Kris, is this idea that people are sometimes waiting for permission. And we're like, you have the permission, go out and make something. And I think what you said earlier was true. People are hustling. It's because there's no more rules. There really are no rules. And, the Kickstarter phenomenon has completely upturned the model, and we can now go direct and build our own audiences. And I think that where we are with comic book school is trying to pivot. And I'm self-aware. I'm learning all the time from the community members. I told this to Kris recently. I go, when it comes to publishing an anthology, I know exactly as much as you guys do. I published an anthology with comic book school, and I learned on the job. The two, right? Like they kept looking at me. They were like, okay, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm doing this for the first time too. So I think it's all about stretching and taking that permission and not slowing down. And the most important thing is to complete and ship. No one's going to go to EternalCon and pay you for a really great idea that you haven't created.
Yeah.
You just have to go out there and make it. You have to ship it. You have to be done, and then you can sell it.
I completely agree. And I know, Kelly, you hustle like crazy, between what you do, the stuff with the library. I feel like you're trying, like, as Buddy's doing with school, you're trying to get the industry moving forward, doing other things. I love library cons, and I see more and more libraries are doing them. And one of my favorite ones is your MCon, because you've done a thing with it. It's become a community thing. It's not just this con that happens. You're working on it to make it something else.
Indeed. Yes, I think what was this year? This is what 13th year if you included pandemic virtual conventions. MCon Anime Fest has definitely been flourishing. I mean, we're definitely restarting ever since they opened the doors at the library back in 21. So it's going to take a chance to go ahead and try to rebuild, and we already got a date for next year, which is going to be April 20th and the 21st. And it's going to be an awesome event as always. We're definitely going to bring it to how we always done every year. Bring it hard and bring in the guests that everybody would love to go check out. Also have the artists represent. As that it's always been a great representative artist when it came to having these shows at the library to have them flourish and be able to spotlight themselves, and also be able to gain an audience there. And that's always been my intentions. Of course, I always bring the special guests and have also great panels by also independent artists as well. So it's something that I think that's great, that's needed in the community when it comes to having those kind of programs and functions at the library. I know a lot of people probably think, at a library, a lot of people, get that crabby old man, like, why have all these kids dressed up looking like what is that? I don't even know what the hell is that, but
pirates.
But I do have to give it up to even the staff administration for actually giving me the permission and also having my back in doing these kind of programs at the library, which is, I have to admit, is the biggest program we've done and have been doing at the library. Going ahead, bringing in, I think this year we brought in around like 2,300 people.
Yeah.
In for the weekend.
Wow.
And that's me skipping Fridays. This is the first year I did this year, not having a Friday night pre-party session.
That's right. You didn't do the pre-party. I didn't realize.
All right. So I just focused just on the Saturday and Sunday. Rafa, I'm getting old, man. I can't do it.
We feel you.
I can't do it Friday night, then Saturday and Sunday. It's getting really challenging and whatnot. But I do love everybody spirit and then having my back and helping out as much as possible. And we're gonna keep doing this strong for next year. Will be our 14th year, and we're just gonna keep doing it until until I'm retired. Never know.
Probably after that.
Maybe after that. Hey, well, if I pass it along, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
When I went that Saturday, there's a lot of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cosplayers. That was really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
JoJo is having a comeback, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Kate, speaking of hustle, you are everywhere and you do everything. Writer, radio, music. Dude, what don't you do?
I'll let you know when I figure it out. You know me, though. I do whatever interests me, and if it comes up, and I say yes. So that's
I gotta
it.
admit, I was happy to see that you joined that radio crew, and I keep seeing it pop up on my feed. I'm like, go watch Kate. Come on.
We have a good time. I love doing Motorcycle Mayhem Radio. It gives me a little bit of an outlet, and I don't have to do the heavy lifting. I can just sort of sit on the side and have fun. It's a good time, but it's a lot. We do 2 live shows a week, one on 103.9 FM, and we do one on Facebook and YouTube, plus we do a podcast.
Right.
So that's on top of my stuff.
Wow.
Dude, and you do the stuff you do by yourself is a lot of stuff. You know, it's good that you got Charlie to help you out.
I struggle just to be on this show sometimes. Like,
That's why he's roaming Tony.
What is that?
Say that. What happened, Chris?
When you say Motorcycle Mayhem Radio, I'm looking that up. What is that exactly?
Motorcycle Mayhem Radio. It's a show about the motorcycle lifestyle. I don't ride. I recently started riding, but I don't own a bike. But I got a lot of friends who are motorcyclists. What do you point
I like how Kris saying that, going, "Don't hurt me." Oh, this makes sense then. See, it all comes connected. It's all a beautiful thing.
No, I'm a biker myself. I ride an Indian. So,
very cool. Oh, very cool.
So you piqued my interest. I'm over here like, ooh, tell me more. Dame más.
Yeah, we do a lot. We do Wednesday we're live 6 to 7 on 103.9. Monday we're live 8 to 9 on Facebook and YouTube. We just got off another radio station. We were on I don't even WOR midnights on Saturdays. So it's a lot.
Ooh, that is a lot. I didn't know you were doing that much.
And then we have bike nights, and and there are a lot of events that go on, and we do a lot of veterans events. And
I ride a bicycle. Does that count?
It all counts.
As long as you're biking, people.
It's got training wheels.
I only ride bitch, so.
Oh man. So Francis, I love the fact that you're still working with your comic strip, and it's a fantastic comic strip. If you guys get a chance to go check it out, on his Instagram. He puts them all up. It's really funny, and he's constantly putting it up, and I'm constantly laughing. But it's we've had a couple of guests recently that have been doing the comic strips, but it's almost like a lost art. It's almost like because a lot of people have gone the webtoons way. But the webtoons isn't exactly a comic strip. It is, but it isn't. So how are you keeping up with all this?
This other comic, web comics that follow like the gag format, like Cyanide and Happiness is one of them.
Yeah.
And, Mr. Lovenstein is another one. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, but those are like they're really funny. They follow like the 3 to 4 panel daily comic strip. It's just something that I've always been interested in. I grew up reading Garfield, Peanuts, Calvin and Hobbes. Those were like my heroes. My favorite comics growing up, and it's just something I always wanted to do. And I also read superhero stuff. Like I loved Superman and Batman. I was a big DC guy growing up, but something about the humor in those comic strips and how you can you could jump in at any point.
Yeah.
And, you could just open up the middle of a Calvin and Hobbes book. And sometimes there's storylines that, go through the comic strips, but you can open up any one and you can get a laugh. So I try to do that with my comics. So I do have storylines that go through through the comics, but I want someone to be able to just click on any day, read it and get a laugh. And if you read the whole thing, you get the big picture, the full story, but you'll still get a laugh even if you don't read the from the beginning.
And you do well with that, because there's times where I miss a couple and I'm like, okay, but I jump in, I still get the laugh, and I go, okay, let me see what the heck's going on. I'll go back.
Yeah, it's hard too, like to write that way. And plus, like most of my comics are only 3 panels, so to write to fit in just a little story segment in 3 panels it can be hard. It can be challenging.
Amazing. I have trouble fitting it into the comic book format. So those 26 pages, people, I think it's one of the funny things when people look at comic books, they go, "Oh, it's so easy." I'm like, no, it's not easy, because you got to figure out. If you're writing a book, you're writing a book. If you're writing a short, you're writing a short. You can just sit there and write it. You're writing a movie. It's kind of like writing a comic book, but you need to get all that stuff done in 26 pages or whatever the amount of pages is, and you can't go over, and you're kind of stuck there. So it gets to this point where how do I do this? So I am amazed, Francis, that you can get what you do done the way you do it?
It's 17 years. It's just, I wasn't great when I first started, but I feel like over the years, it's kind of like what Buddy said before. You learn, right? So people always ask me, "Oh, which book?" If I'm selling my books at like New York Comic Con or EternalCon or MCon, which one's your favorite one? And I say it's my newest one because I like to think I'm getting better, not worse with time.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do. You all need to get better. And like we were saying before, it's I find that now you can do what you want to do, which means that you can actually be creative. You can get your story out there. You don't have to work for the big two in order to get anything done. And like Buddy was saying, when we were younger, it was so much more difficult. You had to shell out to be independent. You really had to like get somebody to back you or shell all that money out yourself.
Yeah.
But
and it's great to have that outlet to do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know what it's like when because I'm doing a lot of stuff for Archie, so I know like this is that's a little bit more limited in what you can do. But I love those characters. I grew up reading Archie comics too, so I guess I get a little bit of both worlds.
That's good, and I love the fact that you do Archie because I grew up with the Archie strips, so and the digests.
Yeah.
I think that was probably one of the first comic books I picked up was the Archie stuff because it was in the supermarket on the little things right as you were coming out, and I always tell my parents, "Come on, let me get one," and they'd be like, "Ah."
One of these, right? One of the digests.
Exactly.
Oh wow, that's
Rob,
awesome.
Not for that, Rob. That's exactly what your father sounds like.
I'll have these at EternalCon.
There you go. You get some good digest at EternalCon from Francis Bonnet himself. And I gotta say, Herman, it's getting dicey. I love what you guys do. You guys have found this place to be in the role-playing universe where you pick and choose what you want at your table, and you guys are really good at it. I'm really impressed by it because you guys really go out there and find the unique stuff, or you make the unique stuff yourselves, because I still love my potion bottle.
I'm glad you like it. So yeah, that's exactly right. We find the best stuff for our table, and we're a little bit, I would say, different of a kind of creators than we have in this panel, which we have some great comics creators, etc., that are amazing. So as a retailer, there's a lot of stuff that we have to do a little bit different to bring our creativity into it, where I can help create a story through role playing with what I have at the table to create, the potion bottle or the dice trays, or I create that way. I have the luxury of not having to draw it, which you guys have to do. I'm so sorry about that. My drawing is horrible. My wife is the artist in the family, so she does all the dice trays. But we really go and find the best stuff from artists,
right,
and distributors to help people play Dungeons and Dragons. And I think that's really important, to help people get into the more creative space, whether or not that's on the fly with Dungeons and Dragons or more creative aspect with comic books, etc.
And you guys do really good. I love the fact that you guys work with other creators as well, and to get things done, or you're working on, because you both are in your DMs, your players, so you kind of understand where this is coming from, and I think that's why these products come the way they do, because there's a storytelling aspect to it. If you're a DM, you come in and you go, this potion bottle, now you have the potion bottle and the information for the spell and the dice that is needed for that spell. That makes life so much easier, because sometimes explaining it to especially new players, it can get difficult.
I agree. And that's kind of where we came with our dice trays now as well. Some of the best things that we've encountered in our games, our personal games, from rolling ones and finding owlbears everywhere to now creating a dice tray that's all about owlbears. Just really taking everything we find in the game and giving it a positive outlet for our players or potential players.
And you guys do really well. A like I said, I can't say enough about how creative you guys are when it comes to your stuff. Where you find all these beautiful dice, and if you guys love dice, the wrong table to go to or the right table to go to, it's getting dicey because you're gonna leave there broke.
You can never have enough dice or comics.
I say that all the time.
I need to swing by your table
Mm.
when I'm at the show.
Oh, dude, Kevin, you got to check it out, man. It's just, again, I apologize to you now. You're gonna leave.
Legit, on the floor behind me, I have a whole like Tupperware container full of Magic the Gathering cards that are like literally just sitting there, and I'm like, I'm also a camp counselor, so my brain went, oh, if I can get this connection with my camp, these kids are gonna have a field day with these dice. And I'm like, mental note, I need to figure out how to make that happen. So I'm thinking about like business aspects too. So
I'm sure
my
we can work
brain's
something
like,
out.
let's see where this is gonna go.
Yeah, my wife and I, we watched the Dungeons and Dragons movie the other day, the new one,
beautiful
which
movie.
I loved. I had a field day with it, and I've had a little D&D experience in my life,
Yeah.
and
Me and
so
Ralph
I'm
like it
watching it.
too. Me and Ralph like the movie too. So
Yeah. So, and it was like you're watching it, and it's just like, oh, they hit that note nice.
Oh,
Oh,
they did.
look at that in the background. Oh, look at that snap. Oh, and I'm over here like geeking out a little bit, and my wife is just like, this is so cool and it's so fun. I want to try playing sometime.
Oh, definitely.
Well, we can hook you up. Not a problem.
Yeah. So
and
I'll
like
be at your table.
like comic books, D&D is an amazing thing. Especially, like I tell people all the time, if you want to be a writer, try D&D. If you want to be an actor, try D&D. If you want to be a storyteller, try D&D because it gives you all these bases, or role-playing games in general. It gives you a basis on how it kind of starts you off in the right direction to being a creator. Because first you create your own character, then you create your world, then you create your own world, and that's what writing is, isn't it?
Exactly. And it all starts from just designing your first character and how your character would react to certain situation, having the DM putting the dungeon master put stuff in front of you and say, what would you do in here? Which is great for the DM because the DM is a creator on the fly. So when you graduate from player to DM, then you're just one step away from full-blown writer.
Exactly. And it's funny that you say that because up until recently, I haven't been explaining it that way because, sometimes, you have people that are D&D and they can understand what you're saying, but it is such a great analogy of writing. You start here, you move here, and then you move here. Boom, writing. And it was the easiest way to explain it. And the person that I explained it to goes, dude, that makes so much sense. Now I got to find the right analogy for other people. Yeah, because the whole thing is, and I know you all, because everybody here is a writer. Everybody here is a writer. I feel that one of the things that happens is that people come up to you, they ask for advice, and then when you tell them the advice, and we all know what the advice is going to be because we all know what the advice should be, and they go, Ralph, I want to be a writer. What do I do? And I go, you write. And they go, why are you being an asshole?
Yeah.
Oh man. It's in the doing, man. Everything, drawing, writing, all it's in the doing, man. You gotta,
But also, don't forget, it also takes a lot of research doing as well. Depending on the story, the characters. Like if you're doing like a time era, you need to see more of like the costuming and the culture was back then. Things of that nature. Unless you're making your own alternative universe, then of course, obviously, you can just do whatever you like. But if you're doing something historically and whatnot, you should try to do a little bit of research. Or if you're doing something in particular that's close to that era, you might want to look into like how people were or costuming, stuff like that, and then be able to integrate it into your work.
Yeah.
Completely agree with you. Because writing is research. Research is writing. It's what we do. We're constantly researching what we're writing. I like to explain to people that when people say write what you know, it doesn't just mean what you know. It means what you learn. Because as you learn, you know it, and then you can write. Because a lot of people want to get stuck in that little bubble that they get themselves stuck into. Go, well, I don't know things, Ralph. I can't write. I'm like, you know a lot of stuff. Just write about that or research it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
honestly, that's how Riley's journey happened. Like, because I joked around with my friends years ago about, you know, all the shenanigans we would get up to. And I'm like, this really should be in a story. Like, someone needs to write a book about this. And, you know, it took a lot of time for me to figure out who I wanted the characters to be. And, you know, I finally settled on Riley, to a degree, is based off of me. Charlie and Violet are based off of two of my best friends who, I mean, we have our own stories that haven't been written down yet, you know. But at the same time, it was a project that, you know, I created when I was kind of switching between jobs, you know, because in the beginning, when I first started with Buddy, I was working in a horseback riding stable in Queens, you know, and one of the meetings I was on, I was literally in the middle of work. And I was like, I have 20 horses literally about 10 feet behind me, all waiting for dinner. And I was like, but also at the same time, I have like 9 kids out in the arena doing their class. But I'm also on a creative meeting on my phone.
That's the hustle, man.
You know? And then I'm like, my horse just made the loudest whinny I've ever heard. And it literally was, Dad, you're late for dinner. Like, let's go. And I'm like, oh, the stories, if he could talk, the amount of stories I could come up with just with him alone. And like the horse that I wrote about in Riley's journey is based off of different horses I've ridden over my 20 plus year career as a horseback rider. But like you said, literally just take a pen or your keyboard, start writing.
Exactly.
Whatever you have in your head, just start writing. Don't worry about all the mistakes, all the grammar mistakes, whatever. Polish that later.
Yeah.
But get your ideas out, because like literally right now, I'm sitting on 3 other projects.
Sounds about right
now. 3 or 4 other projects that some of them I'm thinking about keeping them as comics, but some of them I'm thinking about making them into light novels, you know, and I'm going to be working on them while I'm tabling, you know, but it's also that motivation, because there's characters in these stories that are based off of people that are my best friends, and they know what it takes to be a horseback rider,
right?
Especially in today's day and age, honestly. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, you know, to be passionate about 3 other projects that aren't fully written out yet.
That's the whole
you
thing.
know, like, exactly, you know, every free second I have, I try to write something.
Boom.
You know, just because like one of them, I'm combining 2 different universes that don't necessarily match up. So I have to I have to write a paragraph out or 2 or whatever in order to match those universes up together so they flow in some kind of consistent way. You know.
Oh, definitely.
That,
completely.
Like that's something I'm going to be working on this weekend.
See, and that's the thing. It's the hustle. It's like it's what we're supposed to do. But you know, I feel like sometimes when you tell people who want to write what we're saying right now, they look at you like you're insane. But it's what you got to do. You know, you write when you can. You know, if you can actually sit down and make it your job to write, then by all means go do it. But if
Oh yeah.
you have to do everything else to put the money on the table to make things happen, to make the dream happen, then you're just gonna have to find the time to write. And Kevin says the thing. I got like about 10 projects that I'm working on at the same time. You know, sometimes one of them has more precedence than others, but you know, we're constantly, and I know you guys too, we're constantly working on more than one thing at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep them all straight.
Yes.
That's my other big, like, getting that creative bug,
Mm-hmm.
but also understanding that I have 4 projects and I'll end up writing a sentence or a paragraph or a page or whatever in the wrong universe, in the wrong book. And then I'm like, that was like 3 hours worth of work that now I have to copy that off
Transcribe,
of this
yeah.
book to then move it to this book. But then I have to add a whole nother like 3 pages onto it to make it make sense. You know, and then I'm just like,
struggle.
how
And I think
do I do that?
What
know?
Kel was talking about with the research and all that stuff, that's the difference between what makes a good writer versus someone that just writes.
Yeah.
What they know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
Because it's like you can know a lot of stuff, but it's like at the same time you do have to. Okay, I know it.
Gotta do your
I
homework.
gotta make sure.
Yeah. Gotta do your homework.
And that making sure, that research that goes into all of it and everything, that's when you can tell someone's like, oh, this writer they put time into this. They didn't just jot down a journal.
Yeah.
You know, and that creative part is where a lot of like the people that don't write and want to be writers, that once they get past that hurdle and they realize that there's a work aspect to writing in your journal. That's what it is.
Oh yeah,
it is completely. But
I know where the best place to get your research from.
The library.
Your local library.
Nice plug.
Yes.
Don't trust Wikipedia. Just don't.
Just come to the library, hang out with us, and then go ahead, get your books, and do your research right there.
Exactly.
Trust me. If you know some things, it's cool. But if you do your research, trust me, you're gonna get that one fan coming by and asking you all these technical questions about little things here and there, and you're gonna need to know how do you be able to answer those questions in the right way and format. But also, I also want to bring up writing and getting published, and again, your book out is one challenge. Now, when you have that challenge done, what is next? Is now you have to like pretty much confront the customer. Mm-hmm. And with me, I always find when it comes to those kind of details is that you got to have the right personality to basically introduce yourself and be able to sell your product. When you like go ahead and show off your books and whatnot.
Hold on, I'll let you show off. Hold on.
Like Just Blaze, Legend of the Firing Fist, like that I published, or even like my wife's work, Rainstar and whatnot. You got to know how to go into the cliff notes and explain your stories and whatnot to your customers in the right way, because a lot of people's attention span is not as long as it used to be. That's why you got Sesame Street now with short skits instead of a whole long prolonged story along with the neighborhood. And then also my newest gamble right here is continuing the Rainstar series written by my wife. It's called Rainstar: The Vile Chronicles, where I'm going to be promoting this and selling this at EternalCon and offering some great new deals since I'm going to be launching it at EternalCon. So whole thing, what I'm getting at is mainly is that when it comes to like selling your artwork and selling your merchandise or even a comic book, you have to have the right personality to talk to these people. And I have to say one thing with me is I used to be a Radio Shack manager, and I was a manager for 5 years. And before then, I was a salesperson. And what I always tell all my staff or even people that I interviewed is that Radio Shack, they don't make you a salesman, they make you a hustler. And you gotta learn how to know how to hustle. Now, when it comes to like greeting your customer, you gotta basically know how to qualify them and be able to break down that wall they'll have up because you approach them. Once you qualify that customer, then you basically show them what you think their interest will be, which will be your presentation. When you do your presentation, and then they actually start saying, "Oh, this is pretty cool," that's when you be able to like go ahead and just end it. Do the finisher. When you do the finisher, then that's when you be able to make the sale and then have them walk away with, yes, exactly. Oh, you can, yeah, exactly. So they be able to walk out with a great deal. You know what I mean? So anyway, so when you do those things, that's how you be able to do it. Now, I met a lot of people at conventions. Francis, I know you got a great personality. You do your thing. You're a hustler. I see you. And I see a lot of other people who are not great hustlers, and I feel bad for them. But I talk to them encouragement as well, just as I'm talking to you guys as well, whatnot. Like for instance, I remember when I went to New York Comic Con, there was a guy selling his graphic novel. Now, when I talked to this young gentleman about it, I asked him, like, can you tell me a little bit about your book? Now, when he was telling me about his book, what happened is that he started stuttering. He started getting like the shakes and all that kind of thing. I could tell
The
this was
nerves caught
probably,
up to him.
Yeah.
that's right.
The
So
nerves caught up. Yeah.
that's right. The nerves caught up with him. So right there, he kind of messed up the sale because he didn't really he didn't pull me in to what his universe is all about. So
Yeah.
right there, I'm like, all right, boom, I'm gonna keep it moving and just pass on. So that's right there. Now I went to WinterCon. There was another nice gentleman who bought like 5,000 copies. I mean, which is crazy. 5,000 copies of
Jesus.
his sci-fi book. All right. And he went to WinterCon of all places. No, excuse me, not WinterCon, EternalCon, when he was at the Coliseum. And he was hearing impaired, so he was deaf, and he had the little speech impediment, so he couldn't really pronounce his words. Long story short, too late. What happened is that, as he explained to me to his book, you got the loud crowd passing back and forth and whatnot. And I can't even hear this gentleman about what he's trying to offer me and whatnot. So I was telling him, like, what you need to do is maybe you should get like a salesman, like a representative of yourself. You could sit
Yeah.
there and say you're the author and sign the books as they leave the table, but have this guy do the selling for you. Talk to them and tell them how great your book is, and then you could be able to maybe sell more of your copies of your book there. It's all about presentation and how you talk to yourself and how you greet these
Yeah.
people. You know what I mean? You got to really think about all those things. I mean, it's great that it'd be nice to think that your artwork can sell on its own, but a lot of times, a lot of people are so used to the Wolverines, the Deadpools, the Spider-Man, the
Yeah.
Batman. It's very hard and whatnot. Even I had to take a break from it and just go back to doing fan art and whatnot. You know what I mean? And it's very hard and it's discouraging. But believe it or not, I did sold copies. I just wish I just went more full force with it. And then I got back into teaching kids and teens how to do their own comic books, which I did like a PowerPoint presentation with them and tell them, start small. Your main protagonist, antagonist, and supportive cast, which again, keep it limited. Don't go crazy on your first book. Keep it, as simple as possible, and do your research, as I mentioned earlier. About if you like, I had this one team doing, he wanted to do like a witch character in the Blair Witch era. Not the Blair Witch, when they were doing witch hunts back in,
Oh, the Salem Witch
Witch,
Trials.
right. So I was telling them, we're at the library. Do your research, get some books that shows how it is, and then try to fixate on that kind of era, and you be able to know how to draw the characters correctly in the right type of wear and things of that nature. But keep it small. Don't go crazy. I know it's a lot of teams always want to throw in 10, 15 different characters in one book, and then you lose the plot. You know what I mean? So you got to really try and make it very slim as your first story. As I always do, I always try to keep it very simple with a nice cast of characters and whatnot. And then once I expand the universe, then you could explode with all these other characters to show what this universe is all about that you created. Because you are the god of your own universe.
Dude, And Kris, it's funny to hear that Kelly said all this stuff because I wanted to go to you because you hustle your ass off. Every time I get on my Instagram, you're somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what? This summer is going to be exhausting.
I can tell already just by looking at your Instagram.
Damn. Yeah, no. My wife who runs Tails Beyond with me, she basically said, I want to try something different. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, let's do street fairs. So last year we sampled it, did about 5 or 6 street fairs, and this year we're doing 13. Wow. So I've got the normal 9 to 5, teaching MMA to the kids and everything throughout the week and all, and then now I've adjusted my schedule so that every Sunday or every other Sunday or Saturday I'm either doing a convention or I'm doing a street fair, and I looked at my schedule, and like I said earlier, it's like, yes, I literally was just dealing with my comic, dealing with my website, dealing with everything, and I'm doing summer camp with my kids now because I needed the weekends off so that I can do EternalCon on Saturday and Sunday, so I can do CatastrophiCon on Saturday followed by a Sunday with the street fair. So yeah, the hustle is kind of there.
Kind of. That's a true hustle right there.
And the best part about all of it is she's behind me the whole time with the towel. Like, we got this. We're gonna be great. That's what you need. And she's like, we're gonna get that house. We're gonna get that car. We're gonna get something. It's gonna work because she's busting her ass too. She's a social media person. You look at my social media compared to the Tails one, and there's a huge difference. It's all her. And then the planning of the events and everything, that was her as well. So yeah, she's working herself off too while we're doing this together. And there's a lot of faith and hope going into it. But I feel good about it at the end of the day, because if you're not hustling, if you don't feel like you're driving or pushing yourself, then you should kind of feel like you're failing. And if it wasn't for that little push and drive that we give each other, at the end of the day, we know that we're going to get somewhere.
Exactly. And it's also one of the things we love to see here at BitNabble, and that's why I always find it in all the people that I bring on the show, all the people I talk to, is that passion. You guys all have that passion. You can see it by just the way you're talking about your projects, what you're doing. There's this love, this passion there.
We're hungry.
Exactly.
Literally, we're hungry. We need to eat.
I'm hungry. I need to eat.
Hustle.
Dude, and Dennis, you've been doing this for like a long time.
Too long. I got so many gray hairs, man. You're here because you love
been there
what
since
we do.
the
Like, that's the
get-go
reason
with
we're
the
here.
Independence and the Pronto comics. I don't like if I'm in awe with everybody else, it's that staying power, and you're continually doing new projects. You continually forming new teams or working with new teams. I love the aspect of you that is I can get together with a team and start working.
Well, that comes from a long time of buying people drinks and making people laugh at my jokes. After party Comic-Con, first rounds on me. That's how you get the networking. That's how you get to work with people. But I know a lot of you guys for a long time, and I see everybody has that drive because it takes more than talent.
Yeah,
you have to want to be here. You have to even if you don't know what you're doing, try anyway. Worst thing that happen is that you fail and then just try again. That's all it is. The reason between us and everybody else is that we keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There's no secret. There's no magic formula. We keep writing. We keep going out there. We keep doing shows. We keep networking with other people. We keep helping each other. We keep promoting each other. That's how we survive.
I completely agree with you. It's that teamwork. It's that, I would love to say here on BitNapple, we raise each other up. The best way to rise is by raising each other because, you have all the support as you rise. And Dennis, dude, you started with Pronto Comics when Pronto Comics, I think Kickstarter was just beginning when you guys
that was way back in 2012.
Dude, And I remember when I was younger, when in
Oh,
the
me
early
too.
2000s, when I was trying to get my comic book done, it was like you go talk to Pronto Comics, and you pitch your project, and maybe they'll take it. And that was one of the ways that people would try to get their books out there is by going to Pronto.
Yep. I was the guy telling you that you're a bum, you're not good enough. Come back later.
You made a lot of friends.
And it just amazes me that we've come like Buddy was saying, we've come a long way.
Definitely.
Because it was so much hard work just to get yourself, dude. I'm so in awe of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, man. I mean, it happened in somebody's kitchen, and it like exploded into this like amazing thing. Like that's what we love about independent comic books. Like it can start anywhere.
Yeah,
it can like grow and like be this massive phenomenon. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I remember the cartoons. I didn't really get into the comic books so much later, but it's like these two guys sat in the kitchen. Listen, I got this idea. Radioactive turtles in the sewers of New York City. It sounds insane. It sounds nuts, but yo, they really did it.
And to piggyback off and make their origin based off Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
Amazing. You know,
I didn't know that.
That's writing, man.
The Marvel have the hand, they have the foot. So
yeah, definitely.
Like
nice little factoid.
Man, when I was
that chemical that got them, if you go back to the first issue, that was actually the chemical that blinded Matt Murdock when he was a kid.
Yep.
So that chemical went into the pool.
That's very cool.
It's in the first issue. It will never be in a movie or anything.
I missed my moment, man. When I was a kid in the Bronx, I used to draw my own comic books, just little simple stuff like just panels on a piece of paper. I drew a story called Kung Fu Cockroaches, and it was like these roaches that knew kung fu and beating up humans and whatnot and all this kind of thing. Thinking they were as humans were titans, like giants or whatnot. And when I missed my moment, man, I could have been my movies up there with Kung Fu Roaches.
You needed more syllables, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
That they purposely made it the same amount of syllables as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like Mighty Morphin Power.
Missed my moment.
It's funny how all that stuff starts to interconnect, but again, one of the things that we learn especially is as big as this circle is, it's very small.
Everybody knows everybody.
Exactly. As soon as there's one connection somewhere where like right now, who would know that we would all know each other, and then people go, "Wait, you know that person?"
All the time.
Yeah, the mutual list always bugs me out. I'm like, wait, how do they know him?
There's like the same 20 to 30 people on everybody's Facebook friend list when it comes to mutuals.
Dude, yeah. Every time I look at that list, I'm like, what the heck? Kevin, you're working on the panels for EternalCon with Buddy there.
Yes, I am.
We love panels. We did one last year with Izzy. I think, and I know Tony is a big panel guy too. I think that it's an amazing thing. It's something that it gives us a way to get into the world and the brains of the things we love.
Yeah.
What are you working on for the EternalCon?
So I have two panels that I'm on. One is mental health in comics. So we're the panel is just about how we deal with our own mental health issues.
Right.
So if you're burnt out, lacking motivation, things like that, we're gonna hopefully try to give some ideas of getting you back in the saddle,
right?
And creating again, because I know for me personally, that's kind of where I am right now.
I feel like most of us are.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, now that mental health also is being talked a lot in the news, and
it's not like it used to be where it was a secret.
Exactly. So, and I'm also studying to be a social worker in school right now. So Kathy Kirch, myself, Sorry, I have my notes literally right off to the left of me because I can't remember it for the life of me.
Oh no, that's
So-
how it is, though. As
You know.
writers, we need to look at our
Write
notes.
everything down
So-
for a reason.
The strangest thing, like at Liberty City, I went to a panel about mental health, and this woman was talking about mental health, and someone just asked her a simple question like, "What makes you qualified to speak about this?" And she was like, "That is a personal question. I refuse to answer." I was like, "Huh?"
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
It's so strange.
there's me, Michael Gracia, Arts Mermaid, and Darren Sanchez.
Wow.
We're all going to be on that panel. And then the other panel that I'm going to be on, along with Dennis, is the origin story, creating your own character.
Cool.
So with that one, it's going to be a mix of, we're going to talk about, how we created our own characters, and then we're going to draw a character based off of what the audience gives us.
I like that.
Just to kind of show them, like, you guys have the ideas, let's create something out of that. And then we have he said, she said, writers on writing dialogue.
Yeah,
So
dialogue.
characters talking to each other, that kind of thing. And then we have a Girl Scouts panel as well. That's being run by Mr. Buddy Scalera.
Buddy.
So that's going to be an educational panel for the Girl Scouts of Long Island.
I like
They
this, Buddy.
are going to try to bring one or two troops with them.
Nice.
For each Girl Scout who comes with a vest, we'll get him for free, and a parent or guardian will also get him for free. We will help them to earn their comic book making badge.
Wow,
I like that.
Yeah, it's great. It's a little POW, and they can embroider that. And
Dude, I love it.
Yeah, but it's not for the Boy Scouts, only for the Girl Scouts. I think I first did this 10 or 12 years ago at a convention in New Jersey, and I've done it a dozen more times. I just think it's great, and it's just a good way to get people into the con who might not ordinarily go to the show. There'll be a will there be I hope so.
I was going to say the same thing. I hope so.
They haven't said anything to us about that. Although, not gonna lie, we kind of half joked about that in our Facebook chat, that we're hoping that they have Girl Scout cookies, but their season ended in May 14th.
I'll eat cold
Unfortunately,
cookies. That's fine. Thin mints, they will survive the apocalypse.
Yeah, the mint.
Thin mints will
Yeah,
last
the
forever.
mint will be minty.
Those are my
you
favorite.
know,
You don't realize that the Thin Mints you're eating today were baked in the 1940s.
Exactly.
Oh no, yeah,
That's what
for
you
sure,
don't know.
for sure, yeah.
You need the apocalypse to strike, the nuclear apocalypse to strike, in order for those
Exactly.
mint cookies to be made. It's the only way you can
And
get
might
radioactive.
I recommend the comic book Apocalypse Boulevard for your reading audience?
Nice
There you
one.
go. There's a way to tie it in.
That was a good thing. Show it off because my computer's being a little slow. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, there you go. Look at that. Look at that.
Nice.
Guns, explode, cars. Look at this. This is an homage to the Mad Max cover. And wait, here's an homage to Action Comics #1 with a little bit of
Nice.
liberty. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Nice.
And wait, here's a little flex for you. There you go.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
beautiful. Oh man,
Yeah,
For the
that's
win.
dastardly.
that's a
For the
great flex.
win.
But yeah, so those are the 4 panels
Nice.
that
I like this
we're
Girl Scout
doing,
thing.
at least.
I have a daughter, so it's always interesting to me to see, to get her to be creative, to get her moving forward. She's done her own comic book, So I love this fact that you're taking the Girl Scouts and going, okay, guys, let's do this. And it's also introducing kids to comics, which I feel like we don't do enough of anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean, kids sections at comic book stores have gone down significantly. And so
not bad.
You know,
Andrew, he's calling you
Andrew.
out.
Not bad.
He's a friend of mine.
Andrew,
Talk about small world
I'm
right
not sure
there.
if he's a friend of mine though.
Better than bad, it's good.
It is okay.
But yeah, so you know,
bring that guy back. Not
Buddy.
bad.
Buddy actually
recommended
that.
Folks.
Hi,
Buddy,
Mr. Pop and Twist.
Oh yeah,
buddy, buddy. What does the Girl Scout panel consist of? Like, what are like the will you be like? You be doing like a couple of pages or sharing one page, and you guys go from panel to panel? How that works?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great question. So the badge has a formal requirement, and they must draw a story page. And essentially, I just download the requirements for the badge, and we interpret it. But what we do is we prompt the scouts to understand and show some figures, give them some examples, and then we encourage them to do panel to panel illustration. And upon completion, they earn their badge. Now, the badge, the troop leaders must provide their own badges. We don't provide badges. We just give the free education. So they have to write and draw their own single page comic. But at the end of the day, we hope that they continue utilizing the comic book format to express their ideas. And
Original characters or reference?
They can do whatever they want.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
If they want to draw some sort of superhero story, it's up to them, or they can have their own characters. And I think what's great about it is permission to create comics.
Exactly.
Which I think boys get more permission
all the time.
I have two daughters. I think the sense is that the girls always hold back. So what we want to do in a very encouraging environment is say, no, you're writers and you're artists. Go write and draw. Do it. So, yeah, both of my daughters, took the ball and ran with it, wrote and drew their own stuff. And I think that's really one of the impetus is we have to encourage kids to express themselves. You talked about mental health, Kevin. There is a lot of therapy on the page, right? All of us have expressed our therapy in some way on the page.
Yeah.
As writers, definitely. That's one of the things we do. We don't pay a therapist. We just write.
Or we should, or we should. I think.
I mean, sorry to cut you off, buddy.
No, go ahead.
That's essentially what Riley's journey is.
Mm-hmm.
Riley deals with anxiety, and it shows his struggle of being a male horseback rider in a female-dominated sport. So you don't see that a lot in comics, and also too, you don't see many Asian American characters, main characters, let alone two in one story.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of my breaking the fourth wall,
right?
Because I wanted to see, what does that look like? If you have three non-traditional characters as your main character, what does that look like? If you talk about mental health without explicitly mentioning it, what does that get? And so, I'm going to bring that up a lot during the mental health panel because it needs to be talked about.
And I completely agree. One of the panels that we did in Bit and Apple a while back was we were doing I think it was for EternalCon. We were doing a panel for the guys, and we did a mental health and D&D because, like I was saying before, D&D, Dungeons and Dragons role playing, is a great place to get all this stuff. Because sometimes what you do is you take this character who's not you, and you play through him. You role play, and you get some kind of therapy from it because you're actually doing what you need to do with the character instead of you doing it yourself. And if you watch any role playing games, you'll see characters that don't look at all like the player.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Yo, the original drag right there. Probably not.
Dren's insane. Let's see if it pops up quick. My computer's like, you're taxing me too much. Let's see.
My computer's doing the same with me.
Mental
It's
health
dropped
is cool
like 5
too.
times.
It's good to have mental health. Things that get in the way of good mental health are dumb. I completely.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So before this computer dies on me, folks, we've been having a great time here. Why don't we go through everybody, starting with Buddy? Tell them where they can find you. Besides the fact that we're all going to be at EternalCon this weekend, but tell them all the good places to go look for you and all the good things you're up to. Go for it.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be at EternalCon only on the Saturday, and if this podcast lasts much longer, I'll just go straight from here to the EternalCon. It's almost tomorrow already. It's like,
dude, that's why I was like, let me start wrapping it up.
Let's wrap this up while it's still in the same day.
Oh snap! I didn't realize what time it was.
Places at Comic Book School, comicbookschool.com, and every Tuesday we do the Comic Book School live show where we interview pros. We have 2 extremely big guests next Tuesday, so be sure to tune in. I don't want to drop the names here, but no, seriously, it's like some of the biggest guests we've ever had. So yeah, definitely check out.
There you go, folks. You've been teased. Go check it out next Tuesday.
Yeah, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you like this video if you like what the guys are doing here. This is good stuff you guys are doing. Thanks for having us on,
Buddy. I've been trying to get you on the show for ages. I'm happy you finally got on.
Have you? I didn't know that. I think you know
We've
what?
talked about it.
Yeah, I'm dodgy. Just ask Kris and Kevin. Like, try to get me to like.
I got Kris on the show before that.
I can't think further than 48 hours out. Like, somebody's gonna have to text me and go, "Don't forget, we're supposed to be at EternalCon."
Yeah, I know. I stayed on top of you this time. I was like, I'm gonna stay on top of Buddy.
You have to, and you did it on all channels too. You were like, you got me on Instagram.
Exactly. I was like, I'm going to do it on Instagram and Facebook. All right, Night and Day, do your thing.
All right. So I'm going to do my presentation, and then we're going to be here till the next day. So I'm going to be at EternalCon Saturday and Sunday, where I'm going to be launching off my new comic book, Rainstar File Chronicles. It's written by my wife, Jay Scribble, and illustrated by me. And it's going to be pretty much fantastic artwork out there, very animated, anime related and whatnot. And hope you guys, please support and whatnot. It's going to be a continuation of her original story of Rainstar when it shows us the main protagonist character as a kid and whatnot. So you want to see her as a grown-up adult for this. And so not only that, we're going to have oodles, a lot more things going on at EternalCon besides the comic book, which is going to be offering some great prizes. But I also do these things that Raphael knows that I also do. Yeah. I make cute little dioramas.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
How much are those?
Yeah, it's they're very good price. I also, besides Pokemon Paradise Balls, I also make Kirby Dream Orbs. And I also have different other types of dioramas. Besides that, I got Stitch, I got Mario Bros. I also have scene boxes with Demon Slayer, Naruto, so many more, and so many classic nice little terrains and whatnot. And shout out to Jay Scribble, who's my other half. Speaking of her, she also makes Jay Scribble makes these
this looks nice.
Great bead art that she does herself personally.
What?
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow. That's nice.
Got nice little stands here. And
you sell those dioramas? You make custom? Yeah. I've been wanting to get a Chris Burgos.
Well, thank you for mentioning that, because I was going to go to my next thing here. If you like these dioramas and you see things at our table or things that that doesn't get your liking just yet, you can go to our Etsy store, and it's at Diorama Bit World. That's again Diorama Bit World. And you can message me or Jay Scribble, and we could customize anything if it's available for you. And I guarantee you, great products. And not only that, we have fan art, we got posters. You get to meet me, Kel Supreme from Night and Day Anime Studios, which is one of the best things out there. And you can follow me on Instagram right here. There you go. Oops. It was there. There we go. Right here, Night and Day Anime. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to reach 1,000 followers. I've been doing that since the longest. Right now, I'm up to, I think, 7 something, whatever. So I'm trying to reach 1,000 right now. You can follow me there on Instagram or on Facebook. You can look me up on YouTube on Night and Day Anime. And I'm not much on Twitter but Facebook and Instagram is the best thing to go reach me at. And we got so many things at store, whatnot, and I'm very excited for this upcoming EternalCon. I'm going to be in the Artist Alley area. If they have us at the same area that we've been in the past two, it will be in the corner as you enter the arena area. Make a sharp
so Kevin,
left.
It looks like the nerds are saying that they're going to pay for the Burgos diorama.
You put a Burgos diorama. You got Kris on there on an Indian motorcycle, laid back.
Oh my God, you do amazing.
Yeah,
I
with the
love
lights.
the fact that they lights up. Oh, that's just amazing.
If it's available, I can do it. You know, I've been getting a lot of customs ones where they want me to do like Batman, and they want me to do. I got on one they want me to do a Tron version, Terranio. And whatnot, things like that. Oh, give me one moment. Let me just show off one more thing. Let me give it one quick. Give me one. So go to the next one.
All right. So Burgos. Well,
he's like chat amongst yourselves.
Like, oh, Kris,
I'll be back.
I'll give you a subject. The Burgos diorama.
There you go.
Yeah, throwing a flying sidekick off my Indian. You know. While before he comes back, I'll go.
Go for it.
Yeah, sure. All right. So you can find me at Tales Beyond on Instagram. You can find me at talesbeyond.com is my website. You can check out my books. This is Teddy's.
Hold on, I'll put you up.
Not really showing. There it is. Teddy's.
Hold on.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, I see you're blurring things up over there.
I'm blurring my things up because
go.
I got the blur. So let's do that. There. Boom. There's Teddy's.
I love the Teddy's.
Right. And you can also pick up my the book that I dropped last year, Wizards.
Wizards.
Yeah. And I told you I had a little something for you. You know our guy Lewis.
Shadow Rabbit. I love this.
Look at that.
Shadow Rabbit is a man.
Mikey with his mallet of doom.
Where'd you get that?
From Teddy.
Shadow Rabbit.
Wow.
Killed it.
Shadow Rabbit makes good stuff.
He makes great stuff. He makes amazing stuff and is really decently priced. So yeah, reach out. Shadow Rabbit, my guy. You're my guy. Lewis, you're awesome, man.
I agree.
Shadow Rabbit is the man. Woo!
Yeah. So Tales Beyond. That's my label and everything. If you want to follow me personally, Kris Burgos, Kris.Burgos on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook also at Tales Beyond. Twitter, if you want to see how long I can go in between posts, live Tales Beyond, because I am notorious for doing a post every New York Comic Con.
Wow.
I'm really bad with Twitter, and that's the one that I'm in charge of, and you can tell the difference between my wife and myself. So yeah.
All right, so right before we get to Night and Day, you showed your off, so now I need to show mine off.
No, yes.
What? Oh wow.
That's
if you want inspiration on creating your character for a comic, you should hit up Shadow Rabbit and he'll give you some inspiration.
Oh yes.
Here's my teddy bear superhero that I've been working on for a while, and I love this guy, and Shadow did a great job of bringing him to life. He did such a great job that I changed a lot of the little aspects of a Hugbert for the book. Oh, wait, I see another Shadow Rabbit creation. Everybody's just showing off their stuff.
Oh, where's Shadow? Where's Shadow? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that looks amazing. Oh, look at that.
I'm so
Dude.
jealous.
Also, that I wanted to show this off. These are my Terranium boxing boxes.
Woo.
This one here, this one I call Demon Slayer
Demon
Pokemon
Slayer.
that has Zenitsu from Demon Slayer and Pikachu
And it has
co-starring
one-
in there.
Dude.
Damn, that's sick.
Yes.
Oh,
That's nice.
So I have like these things like with like Demon Slayer and Naruto, things like that. So
Oh, I gotta stop by your table.
you better.
I gotta
better.
check these out. I gotta check these out.
All right, I'm good now. There you go.
woo.
Shout out to Jay Scribble and Shadow
Uh,
Rabbit.
Francis Bonnet. Tell everybody all your good stuff. Go for it.
So you can find me on Instagram at Suburban FairyTales. You can check me out on my website, suburbanfairytales.com. I'm on Twitter at francisbonet.com, Facebook at Suburban FairyTales. I'll be at EternalCon selling my books. Here's the newest ones, new Suburban Fairytales book, All's Fair and Love and Wolves. So this one is introduces the Wolf-Ed character who went on to be a fan favorite on Instagram. I'll have Archie comics for sale, like digest and other stuff I've worked on.
Nice.
So
Nice.
stop
Nice.
by. I'll sign them for you. Another Archie comic. This is a lot of the classics like this.
Well, that's what I loved about the digest when I was a kid was how much you got for like a good amount of money.
What was that?
That's what I loved when I was a kid was how much you got for a good amount of money.
Oh yeah. Like
you buy it at the end of the counter, and it wouldn't cost you too much. So your parents would be like, "Okay, fine."
yeah. I mean, they've gone up in price.
Everything has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I first started doing it, it was it was like $7 a book. They're up to $10 a book now. But you get a lot of pages, lots of pages here.
It is. It's a lot of pages.
Yeah, and it's full color. So yeah, that's it. Follow me on Instagram at Suburban FairyTales.
Do that because you guys got to go check out his comic strip. It is hilarious. Go do it. And especially since he's just on easy Instagram. You go over there and you just read it.
Yeah. And if you get the books are on Amazon. You can buy, or you can buy them from my website.
Oh, there you go. Good.
Yeah. I have exclusive so there's exclusive content in here that's not on Instagram, that's not on the website. So you can only get it in the book. So you get the book. And they're cheap, $10 for a book.
I think Francis is trying to seduce us now. All right, Dennis, go for it.
Hey, gonna be at EternalCon this weekend with Combo School. Also, big thing, I'm doing a writer how to make comic books workshop at the New York Public Library starting July 13th. The Bronx branch is 310 East Kingsbridge Road, Bronx, New York. Because sign up on the website, the New York Public Library website, and all the information is there.
There you go, folks. Dennis Knight, he's been doing this for a while. He creates a lot of beautiful stuff. Go check all his good stuff up and go talk to him at EternalCon. He'll be running around and I think he's hanging out with the school, right?
Yep, I'll be there.
All right, look at that. Nerd to the Round is going, yes, a fellow Bonnet. All right, Mr. It's Getting Dicey.
Well, thanks, Ralph, for having us on tonight. It's been a great time. So, yes, I'm going to be at EternalCon and maybe not at quite as many places as Kris with all of his things, but we are doing 38 events this year. Not as many as Kris from the sound.
I was about to say, I was like, dude, you shouldn't talk. You got that plan. And I feel like every weekend I'm going, go check them out here. Go check them out there.
We're at EternalCon this weekend, Springfield Comic Con next weekend, Terrificon, Kineticon. We're plenty of places. But this weekend we'll have some great dice, of course. And see if I can show off a couple right here. I got this nice.
I'll put you up. Hold on.
Oh,
this is a spirit animal, blue sandstone.
Nice. I love those gemstones you have as dice.
Oh, they look much better in person. Trust me.
So
they do.
They
stop by
do.
the table. And I also got these guys, obsidian with some rainbow flourish that'll be on the table. And trust me, they look much better in person. We got these guys. We'll have some dice bottles. Most likely, we'll also have our customizable dice trays, which we can get artwork placed directly on it. I'll just make that mention to everybody else that's here. and it'll be a great time. EternalCon's always great. Frank and Adina put on a great show there.
They do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Completely
Look forward
agree
to
with
seeing
you.
everybody there.
I love the setup you guys usually have at EternalCon because it's a nice big booth and you're showing off all your beautiful stuff. I'm not partial. I don't want some more dice. No. I'm not.
We can make it happen for you, Ralph. Don't worry.
I know.
We'll
I
have
said, we're
more
going to be
for you.
poor. Kevin and I are going to go to the table and we're going to leave the place poor.
And I didn't grab them to show off, but we just got Harry Potter dice in too, like official branded.
You're just trying to get all the places.
Oh.
Man.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Man.
Kate, go, Kate.
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, the Kate Fox Show across the board. We'll be at EternalCon both days. This weekend we'll be doing, like I said, film festivals and some other stuff, and we'll probably be hitting some of the cons you guys are going to be at, but
Definitely.
I haven't set my full schedule yet.
I'm still setting my full schedule. I still don't know where I'm going to be next week or the week after. I feel like life is more interesting now.
It's true.
Kevin, go for it.
Yeah, so I'll be at EternalCon this weekend. Both days is what I'm planning on doing. I'll have Riley's Journey for sale, both in the hard copy, and I have a QR code also that I made. So I'm going to be selling that as well. And yeah, I'm going to be tabling and on panels with Comic Book School. So, and for social media, Twitter, I know I'm gonna get this wrong because I can't remember my own usernames for the life of me. I know Instagram is kpay136, and I believe Twitter is kpay137. So yeah, I'm gonna try to hopefully get a book or two out this next year, but no promises.
That sounds like the writer's goal.
Well, listen, I've been sitting on these projects for like, 3 years now or something. And all my characters are screaming at me to finish writing them. So, yeah. I have like 3 characters that are ganging up on me right now, and they're like, "Can you finish this book before you do anything else?"
I know that feeling.
And I'm like, "Listen, I have other things going on."
They don't want to hear that.
They really don't. They really don't, and it's not fun. So I have to figure out what I'm gonna do with that lot at some point. So we'll see what happens.
There you have it, folks. Go check out EternalCon. It's a blast. It's a great convention. It is in Long Island. Go check it out. Go have fun. Go check out all these beautiful creators. Go get yourself some dice. Go get yourself some comics. Go have great conversations at tables, because that's what we love here at the Written Writ and at the Big Apple, or should I say the Bitten Apple, and Apple Bites. So go. That's what we try to do here. We try to have that feel of talking across the table at a convention. And if you saw tonight's episode, then you know damn well that's exactly what we did. All right, folks, there you have it. On this show, I do the thing where I press the button